Hi guys, it's Angel from AngelSkyeTV. Today's your weekly medicine tarot reading for the week of August 27th. This has been my 20th take for this video. I normally am able to do my video quite quickly. I'm pretty sure Mercury has something to do with it. I've just been having a lot of technical difficulties with my computer and just with the words I want to say. So if you notice in this video, because this is going to be my last one, if you notice I'm tongue twisted, then please ignore that. I've just been having difficulty articulating myself today and saying exactly what I want to say. So, this week, we just came out of our solar eclipse last week. This week, Saturn is going direct. I believe it may have already gone direct, or it's going direct, or something like that. I don't have my calendar in front of me, but I know the energy of Saturn going direct is definitely in the air. So you might have noticed you have started to feel like you need to organize yourself and get things ready for maybe school or something like that. So go with that energy. Saturn's all about responsibilities and rules and getting down strategic plans, you know, the 5-year, 10-year plan. Saturn is great for that. So roll with that energy this week. Next week we'll be looking at Mercury going direct. Woo! So your communications will no longer be breaking down, your technology will actually work for you, etc., etc. So remember, during this Mercury retrograde, it's a really good time to really think about what needs to be reevaluated, redone, recycled, or reused. It's a really good time to go inward. We talked about this last week and I believe the week before, but just in case you're just tuning in today, that is the energy of Mercury retrograding. It is not something that you have to be afraid of. It's actually a really good thing. Just honor the energy and don't spend so much time talking to people but going inward. At least that's been my experience. Unless in your natal chart your Mercury was retrograding when you were born. Then you have a whole other rule system to follow during retrogrades. But we're not going to talk about that today. What we are going to talk about is what's in store for the week ahead. So if you want to close your eyes wherever you are, I am going to shuffle the deck. I'm going to ask the angelic realm and the higher beings, the elementals, to join us today in this reading for the week of August 27th to give us clear guidance and to focus our intention and our energy on how to help the planet become a better place right now during this crazy time that's happening in the world. And you all know what I'm talking about. So we're just going to focus our energy in a more positive place during this reading to help us get through these times. Okay, for the week of August 27th. And I always just wait for the guides to tell me when I should pull the cards. Sometimes I hear just the word stop. Sometimes I see a stop sign. It just depends on how the guides are going to communicate with me, whether it's through my clairvoyance or my clairaudience. Just depends. Sometimes I just feel like I have to stop. I don't get any actual signal. All right. So let's see. Ooh, nice card and nice card and nice card. Awesome. Okay, guys. So this is a really good reading this week. I'm going to grab these. I'm going to grab my labradorite. And we'll start the reading. So, beginning of the week, the guides are talking about a renewal stage. And again, I just actually talked about how it's a good time to review things, past and present, and to start planning things. So the energy of Saturn going direct and Mercury retrograding, both these energies help us to do this. So it makes sense that this card's coming up. So the renewal card. And it's an attempt for you, the listeners, to go deeper in regards to your life purpose. So maybe a lot of you are wondering at home, like, what is my life purpose? Why am I here? What am I supposed to do? This is a question I get a lot from people, and it's a really good question to ask yourself, and it will lead you to the answers if you continue to trust that that question is at the forefront of who you are, really does get you to where you're supposed to be. I want you to think about that for a minute. If you do not have it in your consciousness, and you're not concerned, and you're not worried about what your life purpose is, the chances of you finding your life purpose are probably a little bit less than if you are constantly searching for what your life purpose is. I'm not saying you can't find it, because life will get you to where you're supposed to be no matter what. But, you know, having an active participation in your journey is always beneficial to you and the people around you. So they are asking you to release judgments. Right now, we're going through this really highly critical period. I just noticed within myself, within the people around me, with just on social media, within my friends, everybody's hypercritical and judgmental. And again, I think it's just because everybody is questioning everything, the truth of things, what's really behind everyone's motivations. The list is endless, but there's definitely huge amounts of judgment out there right now. Judging particularly based on race, religion, way of life, worldviews, all of these things are really something that is breaking down in our society, and it always has been there. These judgments, these discriminatory belief systems have always been there, but now people don't seem to be putting it like under, you know, in their home, like talking about their worldviews, their ignorant comments, generally stayed in the home for the most part. I'm not saying that they always stay behind closed doors, but because that's definitely not true. But now it just seems like it's just anyone and everyone can say whatever they want, whenever they want, and there's no real consequences to it besides the world becoming more toxic. I mean, that is the ultimate consequence. It might not seem like these people are getting any sort of, you know, legal consequence for their hate speech or their hate energy, but definitely the consequence is that the actual atmosphere or the energy in the world becomes a lot less positive. And I have found myself questioning, like, should I even be judging people that have these limited worldviews and these harsh, racist belief systems, because then am I being any different than them? And I haven't come to an answer with that, just because, you know, I don't also want to just stick my head in the sand and allow these comments to, or these behaviors to just happen. But I don't want them to occupy my mind 90% of the time either. So it's like finding that balance is what the guides are saying. To release judgments about yourself and others. Like, if, you know, don't go on news feeds on Facebook that are primarily pulling out the ugly in people. I mean, you will just get in a bad mood. You just will. I mean, we all know that. So try to keep your space as clean and as clear as possible from negativity. And you'll find that that will help you with your career. And then they do want you to talk about this. That's one way it will help you. But the other way it will help just make the world a better place, obviously. The second thing this week is the Chariot card. So there's definitely two very different energies happening midweek. And I do see the success of those that are watching, pulling those two very different energies to getting them to work together for you, for your career advancement. It's time to celebrate some of your accomplishments. The guides are saying, like, not to just focus on what you haven't achieved yet, but what have you achieved? look at your progress, I guess, is what the guides want you to do, so that you sort of see that you are progressing, because that's important as well. We can easily, and I'm guilty of this big time, we can easily get caught up in, you know, like, oh, striving for more constantly and not really seeing our progress along the way. For example, my life today is very, very different than my life was 3 years ago. And yeah, there are still things that I want to achieve and I want to succeed at, but I am farther along and I have followed through with my goals that I set 3 years ago, 5 years ago. So I have to celebrate those things along the way. Otherwise, it just becomes a chore, and you know, you don't really enjoy the journey. And there's going to be a little bit of some of you that are watching that will get some fame during this week, midweek. Like maybe you'll get some recognition at work or in your family or even in the media. And it is related to something you're doing successfully because of your dedication and your self-discipline. So that's really positive, I think. End of the week, the guides are asking you to pay more attention to details. To take a little bit of caution when making any moves surrounding either the people you're around or your work. So they're just saying to just be a little bit cautious, pay attention to every little detail, like don't snooze on at the end of the week. They're saying, you know, a lot of you are getting really worn down and tired just because of the energy, even though you've had vacation time or you've had time off this summer, or maybe you even haven't. But either way, you're going to feel tired just because of the energies that are happening in the atmosphere, in the universe. So despite being tired, they're asking you to pay attention to the little details in your life. Maybe it's contracts, maybe it's dates, maybe it's, you know, something or other. You just pay more attention before you take any action. And be kind to other people. Like, that's actually written right on the card. Kindness to others. So that's something I think we could all do right now to help make the world a better place, is just be extra kind to those around you. Despite being irritable and cranky because of the energies, try to just be a little kinder. Try not to like have that argument, even though, you know, maybe it needs to be, maybe there are things that need to be said, but just wait, let it pass, and then talk about when you're not angry. I hope that this helped you this week. Again, take some time for yourself. Be kind also to yourself if you can. That will be awesome, because that helps you feel better and helps you spread that good feeling out into the world. Remember, you're responsible for your energy. This is also your world. You can make it as awesome as you want. You're not a victim to other people's negativity. You don't have to just get swallowed entirely by it. It is our right to have a good earth and to be free of negativity and drama. And the best way for that to disappear is just to simply ignore it for the most part. And when you do have to address it, don't address it by destroying your own energy field. I hope that makes sense. I hope that helps. And I will see you back next week.